Hey, hey, Brandon, I got a question for you. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen the internet lately, but it seems that Twitter, especially, has coined a new catchphrase for the Broncos, um, and it was Broncos country left wide. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that catchphrase actually
Oh,
because it is just the slogan,
oh,
the campaign slogan
oh.
of the next president we're going to be electing.
It's going to
It's
be
a very large person
and they're a
on
Democrat.
the left side of the aisle.
Got it.
Left wide.
Got it.
And people are going to this is a uniter. This
For
is a uniter.
Denver, Colorado.
Right down the middle of the party line, lean left, wide. Actually, this candidate is so wide, he leans both left and right.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Thought
Ladies
right
and gentlemen.
after.
We're still going. Still. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Not do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
steer
you to your what was it?
in the right
Destination?
direction. In the right direction.
Damn it. Damn it. Sorry.
We're gonna ride this steer like
Okay.
a
You
car.
in the right direction? That's what we're going with? Okay.
I think so, right?
I'll get it. I thought so. I don't remember. It's early. We're here early for a little GPS, little GPS. Sorry, Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna, Grossi Perna Show, GPS.
Okay, Michael. Okay. Whose loss was worse, the Broncos or the Packers?
Broncos. It's the Broncos.
No.
You know it's the Broncos. It's the Seahawks, buddy. You lost to Geno Smith and the Seahawks. We lost to Justin Jefferson, okay?
Yeah, but at least my team scored a touchdown.
Yeah, you also tried to kick the 64-yard field goal after burning 20 seconds on the clock, and you had three timeouts left instead of giving the ball to your QB, who you just paid $1 kajillion to.
Yeah, but if it worked, woo, it would have been pretty tits. Man tits.
There you go.
Equal opportunity. Yeah, it was. We streamed it together. We lived it live. I've had some time to digest and process, so I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that today. Got some power rankings of yours to dive into, and I thought it would be fun today to look at the because this is a stat literally nobody uses, the ESPN QBR stat. Everybody knows it's garbage. Everybody knows it's doesn't make any sense. But I wanted to look at their QBR ratings from week 1 because it's all over the place. And we'll kind of determine which QBs overperformed and are going to drop after this week, which under are going to rise up on it. Maybe if people like this segment, we can do it with different positional groups or, ratings and kind of look at things. But the QBR one's wild. Nobody respects it. So
no one looks at it. No one cares about it. It is not used for analytics unless you know that your QB is bad and that number might be a little bit higher. And you might use that and be like, his QBR is really good.
Yeah, you only see it when it's like a 0. It's like a 1.2.
Yeah.
I don't know what that stat means, but 1 is not good.
But that's not a good number. It's not. Yeah, we got some things to jump into today. We also got Thursday Night Football tomorrow, which should be a phenomenal Thursday night game. You got the Chargers and you got the Kansas City Chiefs, 2 teams coming off a big win. The Chiefs definitely coming off a bigger win. Patrick Mahomes, of course, getting QB of the week. We'll break that down as well. I know you're really happy about that. But let's...
You almost threw up right there when I heard that.
Almost just the tum-tum sometime is hurting again.
What I'm happy about this Thursday night game is one AFC West team is going to lose unless they take a page out of the AFC South playbook.
Yeah, they're just gonna tie.
Lovie Smith comes. Well, those two. I mean, the Chargers were begging for a tie at the end of last season, so it would not surprise me if they try and do it again on Thursday Night Football.
That'd be great if just one team the entire time didn't try to win, but they just tried to tie every game.
Ooh.
Like 0-17. Or
like they score a touchdown at the end of the game.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't know, it's 24, and then that touchdown, it's 24-24, and then they just purposely like shank the extra point, take it into OT. Oh, I like this.
That's it. And they just have to really believe in their defense.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, where would that put a team in the standings?
Pretty sure like a 9-7 team would still beat them.
Would that still be better? A 9-7 team over a team with 0 losses, but also 0 wins? This is a question. We need a stats person.
We need an expert for this one because it's not one I don't know. Interesting. Something to wrap your head around. Yeah, let's talk about our prospective teams because there's a lot of sadness in Broncos country and Packers country. Because Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and while I was doing some prepping, I was able to
get a little listen.
And he talked about how there's young rookies, the Christian Watson drop, and how he also can play better. Matt LaFleur took a lot of the blame coming out, and I think it does fall upon coaching 100% because the guys just did not look ready. On top of that, Aaron Rodgers definitely rushed some throws, but I will say that the offensive line really did not give him a lot of time. So I think once you have guys, hopefully like Elton Jenkins back and Dave Bakhtiari back, that's going to help tremendously because it's going to give Rodgers more time to go through his progressions and be like, oh, now I can actually hit this guy instead of just looking off of him very quickly.
I've been hearing that it seems forever now. About
not for Elton Jenkins, but for Dave Bakhtiari. It's been
for David Bakhtiari. Like I felt like week 2 last year. Like when did he get hurt? Was it because it was the year before, right?
New Year's Eve of 2020.
Yeah, so it was like early in the season, like maybe he's coming back, maybe he's coming back, maybe he's coming back. And I don't know what, like, is there a chance he plays soon? They put him on the PUP or
no? They didn't. So they put him on PUP during the preseason, but that's not the same PUP for this season. So he's not on there right now. They said they don't know if he's going to play this Sunday though, because they want to take their time. They don't want to rush him back because he played in Detroit and then that didn't work out really well. And again, it's not even his ACL anymore. His ACL is totally fine. It's just like, it's his knee. He's had to have multiple cleanup surgeries there. He was draining a ton of fluid from it all last season. So, I mean, he's a big guy and is unfortunately one of the side effects. And it's just like one of those crazy injuries.
And then Aaron Rodgers was taking the fluid that they drained out of his knee for his own personal. I did a trip off of David Bakhtiari's knee juice, and let me tell you, I am MVP 3 times in a row now.
It's true.
What was I going to say? Oh gosh.
Pretty sure they both still lost. And but in terms of the Packers, Sunday Night Football.
What I was going to say. Sorry, hold on.
Get
I think it's smart that they don't rush him back. Like obviously he's an important player. And one thing I noticed that I thought was kind of weird from Sunday night was like Chris Godwin coming back and playing week 1.
Yep.
And he tore his ACL mid or late season. And you saw guys like J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards not playing for the Ravens who tore their ACLs back, in preseason of last year. So they had a couple more months to heal. And Godwin's knee was okay, but he left that game with a hamstring injury. And I think that's something that when you rush back from an injury, even if you're medically cleared by the NFL doctors, and I would always get a second opinion outside of those guys, because they're going to be like, yeah, you're good to go. If you're not fully good to go, you might hurt another part of your body because it's not warmed up right, stretched right, or like you're favoring parts of it. And I don't know if that is why Godwin, pulled his hamstring. But I would err on the side of caution there. And, for serious injuries like that, take your time.
because it's a long season. Everyone knows, right? It's a long season. Though, in terms of injuries, it looks like there was actually some good news that was coming out of this past weekend, because look at the Steelers, for example, right? So TJ Watt, they were worried that like it was torn pec, but like he didn't tear like the muscle, right? Or he didn't tear something else under it. And so because of that, like he could be back within 8 weeks. Najee Harris could be ready to go.
I heard.
Tatted. Happy frickin' birthday.
Happy birthday, Tatted Jedi. We cannot sing the song because it is trademarked, so you get a new version.
Oh, happy birthday.
Jedi.
Happy birthday.
Tatted Jedi.
Happy birthday.
It's
happy
your birthday.
Happy birthday. Anyway, so yeah, Najee Harris could be back. And then Dak Prescott, I'm sorry, that story's weird to me, because they're saying, it was like 6 to 8 weeks or 8 to 9 weeks. And then you had reports coming out and being like, oh, well, we're not even going to put him on IR because he might be back in 4 weeks. Like, that's a big old difference. And I'm like,
it's
okay.
I mean, it's a thumb fracture, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like how quickly the bone heals, and they believe basically you're like, it can hold up throwing a football, because you don't expect your quarterback to take a lot of hits to the thumb.
Yeah.
But last year, Russell Wilson, remember he had that weird finger injury, he had to get surgery, and we're like, oh, he's going to be out for a while. And he returned like 3 weeks later. Obviously, he shouldn't have, because he did not
shut up out of Packers
horribly when he came back from it. But that would be my concern with Dak. Like, how well can you actually throw a football while
your throwing thumb is a little important when gripping a football? Just a smidge.
Probably you could argue there's 2 fingers that are the most important in throwing a football, and that's one of the 2. Ooh, whoa.
Those 2? Not you. That was not you. No.
Was that a secret? Was that to the Cowboys, though?
It always is.
Were you channeling your inner Dallas Cowboys fan? My quarterback's hurt. Boo to you, sir.
Yes, pretty much. I love the Vikings more, but the Seahawks are right there. They're right. They are right there. And speaking of the Seahawks, Hackett came out and addressed the whole going for it thing. He's like, looking back on it now, probably should have gone for it.
I like Hackett. I know I gave him a lot of shit this week. My best video is just ruthlessly ripping him, but I like, that's like, it's a little bit of satire there. Like, I started the video by pointing out all the other reasons the Broncos lost, and I was like, let's just blame Hackett though for all of it, because life's easier when you can point at one thing and go, it's your fault.
Amen.
Here's the difference though. I think Nathaniel Hackett is the kind of guy who is going to learn from his mistakes. He's going to see something that didn't work, and he's open-minded enough to be like, let's not do that again. Let's approach that situation a little bit differently. And I think that's a lot different than what we had prior with Vic Fangio. That's a guy who it seemed like didn't ever really want to take the blame for anything. Would always put it kind of like on the players and things not working. So he addressed it straight on too. And he said, in hindsight, it's really easy to say we should have went for 4th and 5 there when you missed the kick, which is fair. And even I saw McAfee and Rodgers, because they were talking about Hackett a little bit, and Rodgers was like, he's going to be fine. And they're like, hindsight there. It was definitely the wrong decision to kick a 64-yard field goal. And I say that even when your kicker tells you, just get to the 46, I got it from here. You got to go, okay, 46, what's the math there? 64, I don't know. No, that's still, like, that's your longest range in a optimal situation.
Yeah.
Game winner, I think you need to push that 5 yards forward, because every kicker's like, yeah, I can do it. Warm-ups, I was hitting that easy. Warm-ups are a little different. I know you were trying to stop me, and I just kept going. But
no, it's all good. Well, I mean, I think the thing that you need to do, that's the confusing thing for me. It was like, if they panicked, they had no timeouts left, it was 4th down, they need to make a decision. I get it. But that, call a timeout and wait. And again, we're all speaking from hindsight. We don't have the pressures of being an NFL coach or anything like that. It is like his first head coaching game for the Broncos, because he was with Jacksonville. But it just didn't look good. And I think that if anything, it'll just be a really good learning experience, because, maybe he's going to give it to Russ. But I will also say, I think Ben Kurt was the one who tweeted about this, saying that they tried to pressure Wilson to run to his left because they noticed like his stat line wasn't great when he was pressured to the left. And like, that is such a nuance of the game. And like that was really cool to me, like just to hear that, because it just goes to show like how deep the analytics go and be like, hey, like he's a little bit less accurate when he's forced to his left. So let's make him like, we might leave some guys open, but he's also going to potentially miss some throws, which he did, on Monday night. And
no, he did. And that Pete Carroll mentioned that because like right before the show, I just like wrote that into my power rankings that like, as much crap as I talked about him, that was their plan. They did it fairly well. They pressured Russ, pushed him to the left, and he still threw for over 300 yards against him. So it's like, is every team going to be able to do that? Is every team going to commit to that? I think you try and like, if you know that as the Broncos, maybe you mitigate that with a little extra protection on one side. But I think part of Russ's inaccuracy too is like just being the magnitude of that game, being back home. Like I watched Peyton Manning go back to the Colts and lose when the Broncos were undefeated and he didn't look quite like himself. You know what I mean? That's a tough situation, but like there's so much about the NFL we don't know just as a viewer. And that is definitely a good nugget, but Russ will cook against the Texans.
I would hope so.
While riding. He's going to be in a motorhome sauteing, flaming up, I don't care, an omelet or a souffle or a steak. So he'll be riding and cooking.
I mean, listen.
Look. Okay. Do you want me to start? No, you go first, Tom.
Well, I was going to say, I put Seattle in my power rankings at number 10. And honestly, it was like, I don't think you're going to be here again. But because I will say, I think a lot of people were impressed and surprised with Geno Smith. Because we talked about like that game against he had the Rams when he first came in and he looked pretty good. But then you look at like the Jacksonville game from last season, like it wasn't ideal. And like all the talk that was talking about, it's such a pathetic QB battle between Drew Lock and Geno Smith. He has that great line that said they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. And I was like, that's good. That's good. So I will give the credit to the Seahawks where it is due. We'll see if they can actually do anything with it this season. Go ahead.
Okay. The loss is on the team. Okay. Look, Hackett made the wrong call at the end of the game. I'm not denying that. I think he should be criticized for that. But did he fumble on the goal line the first time? Did he fumble on the goal line the second time? That's 14 points. 14 points. 14 points.
Sure.
Looking back, we targeted, I think you could put this on Hackett or Russ in the end zone. Eric Tomlinson, known blocking tight end in the corner of the end zone. He made a catch, but I think his foot was out by this much. Eric Saubert drops a perfectly placed pass on the other side of the end zone. The Broncos defense, the first half, allowed Geno Smith to be perfect. So I would say some of those things were bigger issues. Second half, Broncos defense, much better.
Yes.
Run game was not working for Seattle. Geno Smith wasn't as good in the second half. So there were a lot of things that went wrong there. One of those touchdowns, not fumbled, it's a different story. And heck, like even if Melvin Gordon doesn't get in and doesn't fumble, the Seahawks are on the inch line. Maybe something happens there that shifts the tides a little bit. So you can't blame it all on Hackett, but when games are in prime time and everybody's watching and it's a final play for a win or loss, you just look at that play and go, what went wrong?
Yeah.
Broncos fans, like a lot of shit went wrong in that game and they were still only down by 1 point. And that's why I feel like optimistic about them moving forward. Not as optimistic as I would have felt if they just came out and torched the Seahawks like they should have done, but that's where we're at now. We're going to improve.
It's week one. Week one. Lot of season that's going to be left. Meanwhile, the Colts, I was actually a little surprised as I know he missed the game winner, but potentially win. But the Colts let go Rodrigo. They already signed
he's a
2
Colts
kickers, if I'm
hero.
not mistaken.
What's that?
I think they already signed like 2 kickers or whatever, or at least like put like one on the squad or something.
Yeah, I don't even know who their kicker is going to be.
Honestly, could be the safety for the Chiefs because
Justin Reed.
That was pretty good. But yeah, I was kind of surprised because you saw like a lot of missed kicks, and I thought Blankenship, and maybe it's just because I haven't been following the Colts enough, but like I thought he was always solid. But
yeah, I think like the knock on him is he doesn't have like a huge leg, but Chase McLaughlin is who they signed, and who's the other place kicker? Maybe that guy's on the practice squad. Let me look up Rodrigo's Rod. There we go. What is his percentage?
That was such a great video to see. I know it's circulated a lot on the internet, but of Justin Reed just going, he's like, hey, you need me to do kickoffs? All right, yeah. And he was nailing them too. He kicked it through the uprights. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the coolest thing about that is just like his confidence in himself to just go out and kick
feel better, buddy.
As effectively as an NFL kicker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. Okay, let's see here. Rodrigo, 2020, 86.5. So that's like pretty good. Yeah. That's like your middle of the road to a little bit better than middle of the road kicker. Last year, 78.6. So that was not as good. Not as nearly as many attempts. Was he hurt last year? He might have been hurt last year. And then he was 2 of 2 until he missed that one. And
then the kickoffs were bad, I think, too.
Okay. So I know Colts fans liked him. Everybody liked him because of the glasses.
The glasses.
He was Georgia, right? He was a Georgia kicker. And everybody's like,
glasses. How do you not love the glasses? But you know what? Listen, people start having kicking problems. So he'll probably get picked up and signed somewhere. So
yeah.
I don't doubt it. In addition, taking a look at the winners of Players of the Week here. You mentioned the AFC and the offense, and looking at the QB, you got Patrick Mahomes. Defense, Minkah Fitzpatrick, who had himself a game against good old.
It was like a career game for Minkah.
Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals. And then Cade York. I mentioned him earlier this week, too. 4 for 4, hit the game winner. I think the last one was a 58-yarder, the kicker for the Browns. And there you go. Some positivity for the Cleveland Browns because not only do they have Deshaun Watson, but they unveiled their midfield logo, Brownie the Elf. And that is truly the stuff of nightmares. And you know what's really funny is when Johnny Rockford, shout out, who makes the beautiful graphics, he had the Browns be Brownie the Elf instead of like the usual like helmet and stuff like that. And I was like, please take that off because it's horrifying. And then they unveiled that. I have so many questions.
Look, this elf makes me uncomfortable, which as long as it's kind of fitting if your quarterback's Deshaun Watson. I think I prefer it over just the color brown as like a logo.
Why does he have a receding hairline?
That's a big question. He's severely balding, and he's just holding on to that patch.
Listen, you know, receding hairlines are a thing, but when you could just make it whatever you want, give him a full head of hair. But they're like, you know what? No, maybe they're going to start doing like a sponsorship for Keeps. And this is like the preliminary thing that they're putting out and just being like, hey, sometimes even football mascots need help with their hair loss.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's like the Keebler elf that did steroids. So they wouldn't let him in the little tree. Like, sorry. We've got a fourth brother and he is just, there's too much anger for him. Go be a football guy.
Yeah, they also, why is his right foot so small?
Because he's short. The distance can't be that different.
I don't.
I mean, he was drawn in what, the 60s?
Someone just was like, hey, I had a really bad acid trip. Look what I made.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're called the Browns. We kind of need a logo. What do you got? An elf?
Oh, Brown
Somebody's
fans
saying
love it.
an elf?
Stern loved it.
50s. Wow, even
I can
longer.
see why Art Modell did not like it. You know what? I can see why.
Yeah. That said, like, I love it because it's so weird. You know what I mean?
It is weird. It's different. I will say it's very different. So that's
But
nice.
yeah, if I were a football fan of the Browns and like I've got all this Broncos crap back here, you know. So let's say it's the Browns fan in me, and I've got that elf. I'll tell you one place that elf will not be, and it's my bedroom. You wake up in the middle of the night and you see that creepy little fucker in the corner staring you down like that. No, I don't care how much home security you have. The bad guy's already in. He's already in.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Yeah. Oh, the NFL should make a movie about this evil elf coming to life, and John Gruden plays the voice of Brownie. Kind of ties in the Chucky theme. It's basically Chucky, but instead of Chucky, it's Brownie the elf.
And he just starts saying like slurs and like really bad comments, or they're like, Brownie, you can't say that.
Yeah, but we think he's evil, but he's actually ridding the world of evil, and we don't learn that until deep in the movie.
This is like, honestly, Danny's profile pic, which looks like a Dr. Phil Eminem.
It is a Dr. Phil Eminem.
I would kind of prefer that one.
Yeah, that's also creepy.
Brownie haunts motel in hell.
Dang.
Yeah, honestly, if I die and I wake up and that's what I see, I'm gonna be like, I didn't donate enough to charity. I thought I did, but I missed the mark by a significant amount.
What have I done wrong, God?
Yeah, you know what? That's what happens. I think maybe Brownie was like part of like the Habsburgs, and just like the inbreeding really just messed with the genetics and the family line, and that's what you get.
It's like the opposite of Game of Thrones, where the inbreeding actually makes you stronger and better.
Not this one. Nope.
Not this guy.
Not this guy. Not
this
guy.
The Deliverance kid playing that banjo on steroids.
Over on the NFC, speaking of, we got offense. You had Saquon Barkley, who absolutely tore it up against the Titans. Nwosu for Seattle. Sorry, Perna. And special teams.
What?
McPherson.
How many tackles does Nwosu have?
It's okay.
Wow.
It's all right. So we'd say inbreeding, roll tide.
Roll tide.
Oh, man, these comments are so great. They're so great.
This one is interesting. Let's see here.
We got, buddy.
Where is he? Oh, there he is.
Elfman, yeah, it's gonna be a long season. It's gonna
Zach McPherson. Didn't know who that guy was until just now.
I thought you just spelled it wrong and was like, you mean McPherson, like from the Bengals? I'm like, he's not NFC.
No, like that's an under the radar. Like, I'm sure there's some. Was he a rook? Like, I don't know anything about Zach. But I know, like, we're in terms of the Eagles secondary, it's like, oh, I think they're going to be good. They, James Bradbury played better over there last year. Darius Slay's good. Avonte Maddox. They bring in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yep.
I was like, that's a solid unit back there. And then this is special teamers. That's why.
Yeah,
okay.
Teams. Yeah.
All making sense.
Fourth round pick from last year.
Fourth round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what an Eagles fan in the chat is saying, so I'm imagining Shugs is correct.
Special teams. That's what I didn't connect with.
Do you think that there should have been a shout out for like best field of the week, and it would have just been Soldier Field?
Oh, yeah. They need one funny award every week. Although, have you noticed like the NFL YouTube channels really trying to steal our thunder? They're trying to be like super hip.
Yep.
They're like insane fails from week one. It's like, you don't even have to do that, NFL. People are going to watch all your videos.
Because
Let us
you're the
go
NFL.
With the dumb titles. You're
literally the NFL. So you're
you could literally post a video with no title and everybody like, oh my God. Yes.
You see called poop, get like 1.6 mil. 1.6 mil.
Yeah. Like the whole reason I started making videos about football is like NFL takes itself too serious. Like there should be funny when you're like talking about games. Like that was the reason. And now that the NFL is like trying to do it, I'm like, get back in your lane. Get back in your lane.
Listen.
Anyway.
Whatever it is. So you don't have power rankings yet? You don't want to reveal them? Because we don't have to talk about power rankings if you don't have them yet.
All right, this is what I did. Check it out. So.
All right, so we basically matched up perfectly.
We got 3 in identical spots.
I love how you put the Packers logo in my name. Thank you.
There you go. I'm sure they'll find their way back in, but we may have more. We may have not. You guys are just gonna have to watch my power rankings when I eventually get it up today. I am not a machine like one Tom Grossi. I could have done it yesterday if I just worked harder, but I wanted to spend time with my daughter, so I said F.
Listen, she said night night Tommy, like we're good. Like it's all good. No explanation needed.
Yeah. She was being crazy yesterday too, so it was most enjoyable.
I mean, Perna, listen. I think that might be the best power rankings you've ever done. And I'm proud of you for sticking at 10 still. Because like there's no argument. How can anyone argue with that? I think that those are great power rankings. We matched on every single one. I think
week 2 is the best week to do power rankings because you can put in any team that wins, even if they don't deserve to be in the top 10. That's what's magical.
What's bad is when you do it in week 4 and still make the Panthers number 1. That's when you start becoming a problem.
They were winning ball games, kids. Bengals at 9. We could talk about that for a second because they lost.
Yep.
They probably shouldn't be in the top 10 based on week 1, but I think we all believe they are going to right the ship and Joe Burrow's not going to throw 4 picks every week. Is that the thing?
That's it. Like I was thinking, because that was my biggest problem. I put the Bengals there because even with all of those mistakes, they were this close from winning the game, right? But at the same time, number 10, I was like, I could put the Seahawks. I can put potentially the Packers. I might be able to even put the Raiders on there. Like I could have put, there was different teams I could have put out. Hell, I could have probably potentially even put the Steelers, but their outlook, I was trying to think of outlook in the future. And I think without TJ Watt, it's going to be a little bit difficult for a few weeks. So, I mean, yeah, like Washington, I probably wouldn't have. They beat the Jaguars, but yeah, I mean, again, I could have potentially even put the Rams at 10, because again, they're going up against the Bills, but I was like, hey, here you go. No, the Bears did not go up. No, because that whole game was just gross. Like that game was just bad. It wasn't good. Justin Fields was resilient at the end. I'm going to give you that. And the defense was good, but
there you go. One more question. Number 4, how much did it hurt to put?
That's the second worst 4 of the Vikings in their history. So yeah, that hurt me very much so. But considering all the stuff coming out about Brett Favre right now, I might just start referring to him as former Minnesota Vikings player Brett Favre, because those things are bad. I mean, again, that's the second worst texts that have been unearthed by Brett Favre. So just bad. I think
that's. I've had like a NFL news episode about robbery and thievery, because there's like these 3 stories. And they all kind of came out close, but it just kept getting put on the back burner. And now Brett Favre coming in is going to make it a perfect.
You're like, and now we're trending, baby.
But that Brett Favre story, that's been lingering for like 2 years now.
Yes.
Like you and I talked about that, I feel like 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
About him withholding money that he was supposed to pay back. That was
getting paid for speeches he never made.
Like. So there's a lot there, but yeah, it's gross. It's like it's really shady.
It's not, and he was like, the media can't find out, right? And they're like, no, we don't release that information. I love how that's the screenshot that got out. It's like the media found out, Brett. They found out.
Sorry, Brett. Former Vikings, former Jets QB Brett Favre.
Yeah, former Jets QB Brett Favre. Brett Favre. Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Brett Favre has a QBR of -10 right now.
Accurate. Speaking of QBRs, let's pull it up, Perna. Let's see what the most useless stat in the NFL.
This is going to be fun.
Let's see what they got.
Let me find it. Where are you? Boop, boop.
Here we go. Okay. Mahomes kind of makes sense, right? Allen was really
Right.
good, but Mahomes literally like 5 touchdowns, I think 360 yards and 0 interceptions. So that one makes sense. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, the top three, we get it. All these
Honestly,
guys.
Cousins was pretty solid too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Cousins was good. Had a lot of time to throw. Geno Smith, I see you top 10, Geno. I see you. Marcus Mariota. I love how that was just basically from like the first couple of quarters because he looked amazing. And then they're like, no.
Yeah, first half, he was like Geno Smith. This is where it starts to get a little silly. Geno Smith at 6. I know he had a perfect half. But we're going to talk about quarterbacks who are going to drop on this list. My first one that's going to drop is Geno Smith.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
I like Geno. Root for Geno outside of last week. But he will not continue to be, per ESPN metrics at QBR, the 6th best quarterback in the NFL.
Do you think Tua was better than him?
ESPN does.
Okay.
And no, I do not think Tua was better than him.
Maybe. Listen, Steelers might prove me wrong. They might prove me wrong. It's very true.
What is their run grade? See, like, what's this run? Like, how do they even judge this? Because Geno Smith got a 0.1, and I'd argue he made some very elusive plays. How do we rank this? Who was the best
MVP.
running? Okay, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Trey Lance, Joe Burrow got a
Dak. I love how it's like Marcus Mariota, Dak Prescott, 15.3. Wait, I thought this was. Wait, what happened?
I switched to who had the best run number by ESPN's metrics.
All right, so who's at the bottom?
Oh, here we go. Mac Jones.
Oh, jeez.
McCorkle under only Dak.
There's Aaron Rodgers.
Couldn't even beat out Flacco. And then there's Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford. Wow.
Daniel
Stafford
Jones
was 7 points higher than Aaron Rodgers. How many picks did Rodgers throw?
I think it was 2.
Oh, did he have 2?
I think because there was one near the end of the half.
Okay.
Was it 2? Oh, he threw 1. He just threw 1. Oh, he did fumble though.
Okay.
Right. I try to block that out of my head, to be completely honest with you. Because
I guess Stafford somehow completed 70% of his passes against the Bills. That's crazy. 1 TD, 3 picks. Rodgers, 0 TD, 1 pick. 64.7% of his passes. So I guess I can live with that. But
yeah, he lost a fumble too. That's what it was too. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to say that we see both Rodgers and Stafford rise on this list.
Yep.
That's a pretty easy call. I think week 1 was outside of the norm. Here's the difference, though. We know Stafford's got ball catchers he can rely on. Rodgers, with some time with these guys, possibly, but that's still like, yeah. And I'm not saying it's going to like kill him, but early in the season until those guys kind of gel, it's like a couple of these next games are going to be a little dicey, I think.
I think so. Yeah. Again, I think it's going to come back to the offensive line. It's just like, when can we even if we just get Jenkins back right now, like that helps significantly. So, because he can play literally anywhere. So it's just going to be a matter of when can those guys come back. And Alan Lazard was also out too. Oh yeah.
Lazard wasn't there. Here's the thing about Derek Carr. I think this is appropriate right now because for my power rankings, unearthed the Derek Carr stat. Let me find it. Oh, here we go. In his last 11 games, Derek Carr, 14 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 11 fumbles. Now, 6 of those fumbles, I think, were lost. But Carr's issue, ball security. I think Carr is leaving some to be desired.
I agree with that.
And Devontae Adams made Carr look better than he really was last week. And like Aaron Rodgers, Carr has some protection issues up front. The difference is I'm not sure how well Carr will mitigate that. And I don't know who the Raiders are getting back from injury that are going to help him. Eventually the Packers will.
Khalil Mack, he had 3 sacks too. I mean, like he was causing havoc.
Yeah.
So Carson Wentz had himself a nice half too. He was doing well.
Yeah, Carson was, I guess, at 20 was lower on this list than I thought he would. Look, Kyler Murray at 52. He didn't play well.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, I think, is too low. I thought Jameis Winston,
his fourth quarter was
start,
amazing.
But when they needed him, they started going. Like him and Tom Brady have a near identical rating. And like I said, I didn't think Brady played great.
Yeah.
But the Bucks defense looked really good. Okay, so top 10. You got Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Cousins, Tua, Smith, Jackson, Tannehill, Hurts, Mariota. I don't think Tannehill will remain up there. I don't think Geno Smith will remain up there. I think Tua drops. And
I think Mariota's probably going to drop out of the top 10 too.
What's that?
I think Mariota might drop out of the top 10 too.
Yeah, well, he's at 10. So who do the Falcons play?
They are playing, hold on. I know this, the Rams.
Ooh, interesting.
Brady honestly might fall further because they're playing the Saints next week. And we all know how the Saints love Tom Brady.
It's kryptonite. The Saints are what the Dolphins used to be, except the Saints win both games every year, not just one.
So, I don't know. We'll see. There's some interesting matchups. Those Monday night games, I honestly wish that they weren't doing 2 on Monday night because those are good games.
Yeah, I don't like the double Monday night games at the same time.
The thing that sucks too is I think America's game of the week is the Cowboys game because that was supposed to be good. It was going to be the Cowboys-Bengals, but now that's not really going to be a great game. And I'm like...
Is that Sunday night football?
No, Sunday night's Bears-Packers. But no, like the game of the week at like 4:25, like in the middle of the day. Yeah.
Maybe they'll switch it. I wonder if they can switch it.
I think it's going to be too late.
Yeah.
So bring back Tuesday night football. Listen, like Vikings, Eagles, Titans, Bills should be a very good game. Both of them should be good.
I think also Joe Burrow on this list is too high for week 1.
Yeah.
4 interceptions. Like he did get 338 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but 4 picks. Like
he fumbled too. He had 5 turnovers. He fumbled too.
Yeah, and he fumbled. Feels like he's getting some credit for past work.
Like him and Justin Fields it's weird seeing them having the same exact stat line. Like, or excuse me, QBR rate. And I'm like, I feel like
yeah. Oh, that's great. That's a great observation. Let me bring up Justin Fields.
Yeah, you bring up his stats because
okay,
I think he 8 passes, I think.
Yeah, this is great. This is why this metric doesn't make any damn sense. Justin Fields completion percentage 47.1, yards 121, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Burrow 338 passing yards, 2 TDs, 4 picks, 62 completion percentage.
Yep.
So
this is why QBR is not taken seriously.
Yeah, I mean Fields technically had a higher passer rating, but where is his rushing yards? They got to be factoring in what he did with his legs. Let's see here. Justin Fields, 11 attempts for 28. That's not great. Let's see, Joe. What's Joe Burrow's rushing stats? Hold on.
Yeah, they were putting the weather in there as a factor, and they're like, listen, he was playing in a typhoon, so
yeah. Okay, so Fields 11 for 28 on rushing. Burrow was 6 for 47.
He was their second leading rusher.
I love it. I just love how it makes this metric completely stupid.
Yep, 100%. And that's why we don't. I mean, Trey Lance is at 43, and he didn't look great.
He lost to Justin Fields.
True, it's very true.
But yeah, I mean that obviously. What Trey Lance stats? Crazy. Sunday seemed like so far 46.4 completion, 164 yards, 1 interception, and they have him above Fields. His passer rating was 50.
Crushed it. QBR, what the world should run upon.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing. Thursday night
football. Chiefs, Chargers.
Yep. Playing in Arrowhead. Definite advantage for the Chiefs there. I think that this is, again, it's September. Teams don't really have an identity yet. But I think that this could just be like an incredibly high-scoring game, and they just go wild.
Yeah, I feel like the Chiefs are gonna win, and I feel like they're gonna win kind of easily. I think what could be the difference is the Chiefs' offensive line looked perfect against the Cardinals.
Yes.
Mahomes wasn't sacked. I don't even know if he got like a breeze from like the pressure of like a guy running by him at a distance. But the Chargers, they've got a pass rush.
Yeah.
Now, I think the pass rush might have looked even better against the Raiders, but I'm interested to see how Bosa and Mack affect Mahomes if they can get pressure and actually slow them down a little bit, because the Cardinals didn't do it. They did not have J.J. Watt. So I think that's like the matchup I'm watching is Chargers pass rush versus Chiefs offensive line. I think we'll get a little bit better gauge of where those two units are. Both probably look way better. Not way better, but a little better than they might be. Both might be really good, but week one, they had like the dominant in there. So
yeah, I don't think Keenan Allen's playing either, too. I think he's out for Thursday.
Yeah, was it a hamstring or something?
Yeah.
Mike Williams had just like 2 catches for 10 yards or some dumb stat. The Chargers spread the ball around a lot.
They did.
I
didn't really get Eckler involved a whole lot, too. Like, the run wasn't that great.
No.
But, yep. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. So, yeah, just have them just launch it. Because why not? I'm just hoping for, like, a shootout. Like, let's just have, like, a good old-fashioned 50-point game. Like, why not? Why not?
50 burger.
Let's do it. But, folks, we appreciate you tuning in a little bit early today. Apologize for that. We'll be back at our normal time on Friday. We'll break down the game. We'll see if Ben Kurtz can be available. Who knows? Had to work out with the 49ers yesterday. So,
yeah, we tweet about that.
See. We shall see. We'll talk to him if he comes on the show. We'll break it down. But, Perna, what do you got coming out?
Got my power rankings coming out today. I know you already watched Tom's, but please watch mine too and tell me how stupid I am.
And you also put out a special video yesterday.
Oh, yeah. We put out Johnny helped me edit it. Will helped me write it. If the NFL was a bad comedy, if you got 5 minutes and 43 seconds, I think it's worth your time.
There you go.
Tom is just dropping banger after banger after banger. What happened? You had to take down your reaction video?
Oh, I didn't talk to you about it. Yeah.
No, like Jeff told me about it because she saw like you say something.
Oh, man. The amount of rage that I felt. So here, I'll explain this real quick.
Yeah, tell me what happened.
So Monday, I do something that I never have done before. But I knew I wanted to get it out. So I filmed every NFL fan reaction on Monday. Like I filmed it throughout the day. And I filmed every single team except the Broncos and the Seahawks. So that once Perna and I were done streaming, I could jump real quick. Boom, boom. Just put those 2 jerseys on. Throw that in there. Everything's already edited. And I'm done. Right? So after our stream is over, within 20 minutes, that entire video was up. And I was like, yes, I'm really happy with it. And that thing took off. Like within an hour, I think it had 60,000 views. Like it was taking off. However, I realized after I uploaded it that I had made a mistake because for whatever reason, I wasn't thinking clearly. I said that as the Colts fan, we lost to the Texans. I said we lost to the Texans, but Matt Ryan didn't blow a lead in Houston. And so people were correcting me and saying, hey, like that wasn't right. And I was like, that's my bad. So maybe you're familiar with this. YouTube has a built-in editor.
Yeah.
Right. So I went and because it was the 35-second mark. I went and I literally deleted 3 seconds. Right. Deleted those 3 seconds, processed. Good. It usually takes like an hour or so because it's slow. Takes an hour or so. We're good. So at that point, because this is Monday night still, we had just got done streaming. I just uploaded that video. I recorded rankings for Johnny, and then I got ambitious and was like, let me record predictions too. So I record rankings. And I go on and I'm like, let me see how the video's doing. It's crushing. But all the comments are starting to say the audio isn't synced up. Wow, there's a really bad audio lag. And I'm like, what? I watch where they're saying it looks fine for me. I go on my phone and check. It looks fine for me. It turns out that it deleted 3 seconds of footage, but not the 3 seconds of audio. So it desynced the audio for the entire thing for just iPhone users. Just iPhone. That's it, which is a pretty big amount of the population.
Yeah, that's weird.
So at 2:30 in the morning, I'm contacting YouTube and I'm like, hey, what is going on here? And they're like, oh, we'll look into. I was like, yeah, it's iPhone users only. He gets back to me like 10 minutes later. It's like, hey, so I realized it's just for iPhone users. And I was like, yes. They're like, okay, we're going to have to look into it, right? They look into it. It's at this point, dude, I record predictions. It's 3:00 in the morning. And I'm like, I hope it's just temporary. I only get 3.5 hours of sleep. I wake up at 6:30. The problem's still not fixed. Every new comment is the audio's off. So it's at 94,000 views at this point. And I'm like, no email from, I get an email from them at 5:00 going, we're still looking into this.
Oh, weird.
So I have to make the decision. Do I keep it up and potentially have it all messed up for like the new day? Or do I take it down and lose like the 94,000 views that I got? It's not going to get on trending or anything like that. And I made the decision to take it down, which sucked a lot. And then I got an email today, this morning, going, good news, the issue's fixed. I had already deleted the video.
Too late. You should have just unlisted it, and then you could have popped it back on after they fixed it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. Dude, they didn't fix it for 2 days.
Yeah, like re-upload like you did, but if you just, instead of deleting it, just moved it to private or unlisted.
Yeah.
That's,
again, it still wasn't going to make trending after all that. So
no, that's a tough
my
spot.
biggest, that was supposed to be my biggest video of the week. Like I worked my ass off on it. And then
it was.
No, the Packers one did better.
It did better than any of my videos in the first 24 hours. So one, congratulations. Yeah. 2, this is a perfect example of the difference between Tom and I and how we approach YouTube. Mistake in my video right there. I can't even say it. Mistake in my video. Oh, well, screw it. It's just going to live there forever. I would have left it in, and you could have addressed it like the next week about, I was so delusional as a Colts fan. I thought we lost that game. It was just a tie.
I made a top comment and I said, the Colts didn't lose. It just felt like it. Yeah. And I pinned it and I was like, I probably could have just kept that up and I would have been just fine. But
that's honestly what makes you successful is your attention to detail and not willing to live with mistakes. So I get the struggle, man. That sucks. Glad I got the story here. Jess noticed it. She's like, he had to take his video down. Like, what happened? She thought, and she was like, the YouTube editor messed up. And she's had issues with it before, like figuring it out, because like as a video editor, the way you do it in there, it's like ass backwards and it's confusing. It's a really janky editor. So I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but
yeah. So
anyway,
Albert Breer apparently is saying that there's a good chance that Bach and Jenkins come back. I think it's a weird tweet, but yeah. And I recorded a Broncos Seahawks reaction too, because the game was just so good. And I put that out as well. And the algorithm just hated it and was like, no.
Oh, weird.
Because I had dropped too many videos, I think. So it happens. It happens.
No, I think a lot of Broncos fans just are like, I ain't watching that.
I don't want to watch this crap. Well, because when I had to do the Broncos and Seahawks, just like for the Every fans, I was like, well, I already have the jerseys on, so let me just record for a video. And then I put on like a bunch of other jerseys for the rest of the division. And I just did that real quick. And I was like, all right. So within 30 minutes, I had 2 videos up after that stream. Because I was just like, I've got it down to a science now of just like how to edit them and just bam, bam, bam. But what are you going to do? It is what it is.
All right, man. We shall leave this stream now.
Yes. But folks, did you already could end? Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you've been navigated.
And you've reached your destination.